What's up YouTube, and welcome to Kangaroos TV, and welcome back to the cricket section. This video in particular, we're going to discuss the white ball contracts. It seems to be a familiar trend that a lot of international players are taking now. We want to see the pros and cons of it, if people agree with it. I mean, what is your initial take on it? I mean, there's a lot of cricketers now, and we've seen like Adil Rashid, Alex Hales, Reece Topley. I can see the pros. I can see why the money's there. Your career is very short. If I was a professional cricketer, I think I'd be extremely tempted to take that route. I think even when the old cricket international stars see it and they see the money involved in the game now, I think they would do the exact same thing. What's your take? Do you think it's good or bad? If you was a professional cricketer, would you be taking that route?
For me, as a cricketer, having played cricket since I was very young, my dream was would have always been to play Test cricket for my country.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thing that would just would have driven me. And when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. But on the flip side, I've also seen people like Chris Lewis, who played for England, who was a hero. Someone who I watched as when you growing up, and you see the videos of him bowling for England in the World Cup, cleaning up Tendulkar, and in the World Cup taking poles. I actually played against Chris Lewis in club cricket, and I was just like in awe of a guy that I was like, oh my God, this guy was a legend, who then got banged up for trying to smuggle cocaine into the country. No, but you laugh, but it's because of the finances in the game. It's just like if you're Adil Rashid at the moment. Now, I'm not saying he would go down that route, but what I'm saying is, you've played Test cricket for your country. Same thing goes for Alex Hales. You've played Test cricket for your country. I've hit those dreams, but now I'm like, hold on a minute. Look at the age I'm at now. They're probably not gonna. I'm gonna get dribs and drabs of cricket matches now for playing Test cricket if ever, or I can go do something that I'm actually really good at. Play 4 overs, bowl 4 overs, bat for 10, 15 overs or 20 overs max, and then just go and see the country and enjoy the lifestyle and enjoy, the livelihood of the tournaments of different countries. I can see why, and I don't disagree with it. I'm like, listen, maximise the opportunity to make money.
But as a cricketer, they always say the pinnacle and the ultimate test, right, is playing the Test match cricket.
What if you've done it?
Yeah, but when do you know you've really sort of satisfied that to yourself that you've? Do you think you could play? You could play a little bit of Test match and think you've reached there. But have you ultimately really tested yourself and think, okay, I've mastered it, kind of thing? Do you not want that as a cricketer to think, but that I am the best? Or
well, listen, let's just say, if you're, I don't know, Damien Martin, for example, played cricket for Australia, one of my favourite players of all time. I love watching Damien Martin bat.
Yeah.
Played Test cricket for Australia, won World Cups, and done the lot. He isn't someone that you're going to call on and say he was one of the best, are you? But he was one of the very, 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 very good players in Australia cricket. So when is he ever going to feel I've done an injustice to myself by not making it as the number one?
Yeah.
Mike Hussey, Mr. Cricket, didn't play Test cricket till he was in his 30s. He ended up with going down as one of the greats of the Australian game. One of the greats. He's not, to us in this generation. But is he going to walk away from the game saying, well, I wasn't the best? I don't think he is. Ravi Bopara scored 3 one-day hundreds. Test hundreds. Then he had a lean series and they never picked him again.
Yeah.
So is he going to walk away from it and say, you know what, I walked away from Test cricket with my head held high. I've done an unbelievable thing by scoring 100 for my country in a Test match. Does it get much better than that? Does it? So as far as I'm concerned, listen, as a cricketer, the amount of rigmarole you have to go through to get a Test cap is unbelievable. You have to master all the way from juniors to the pros. You have to master the age group cricket, master minor counties cricket, go to twos cricket, master twos cricket, which is hard enough in itself. Get into the first team, play first team cricket, score numerous hundreds, get into the Lions, get into the A sides to then get your cap. So that is an achievement. It is a great achievement in itself. So for me, I'm like, look, if you're not getting picked regularly, and there's someone willing to pay you a stupid amount of money to go and come to my country, which I'm going to pay for, I'm going to make sure that you're looked after, you're going to get all the best hotels and whatnot, and you're going to get all the best star-studded treatment to bowl 4 overs, I know what I'm doing.
The thing that worries me, though, if there's young cricket fans who are watching this video, and you're saying that you would probably do that. Now,
The times have changed. That's
Yeah, of course, but I'm worried for Test cricket, because if people are looking with that mindset and thinking that is the way forward, does that mean that the Test match, the end or death of Test match is
nigh.
Yeah, is upon us?
I think you've got to be realistic. You've got to be honest with yourself. And anyone who listen, I'm Test match all day. I love Test match cricket. You've seen, we've grown. Obviously, you've seen me sit there and watch Test match cricket and don't get bored. And I just love it. Right?
So when you do everything to promote it as much as you could?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes and no. But listen, as a cricket fan, yes, I would. But as somebody who goes to work from Monday to Friday, do you know what I mean? If someone offered me shorter hours to earn more money, let's be honest, you'd do it. Someone who goes to work, someone who's probably got work Monday morning, you're going to be like, oh God, do you know what I mean? Here I go again. So the opportunity to maximise your earnings overseas, it is a job. Maximise your earnings, so earn double, triple what you're earning salary-wise in a different location. You get treated like a celebrity to do a quarter of the hours that you do. When you put it in that context, you're like, well, no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? The reason I said it is I know some of these people who are making these decisions, and I know what they've gone through, and I know all the stuff that they've done to get to this stage in their career. It's a short window. It's a short window. So my human element, the humanity side of it would be like, fair play. And, I guess it's a social side of it. You're like, fair play. But as a cricket fan, I am worried. I am concerned because Australia will always be okay because of the churn for cricket and the sheer volume of people doing it. But then, India will always be okay.
But then for me, it's like, as a cricketer, when you start out and you want to reach the ultimate, and I know we've just looked at
every player's ultimate is different.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. But I'm saying, as a cricketer, you've always said yourself that you continuously want to push yourself to be the best. I'm not saying that once you've reached Test match cricket, that's one level, isn't it? And then going on and actually getting those runs, getting those records and stuff like that.
Sometimes the opportunities aren't in your grasp. Getting given the opportunity isn't.
Yeah, I get that. But once you've reached there,
but if you're Adil Rashid now,
yeah.
You're obviously not flavour of the month. Let's be honest. Let's be brutally honest. He hasn't covered himself in glory every series, but nobody has. They're not the number one Test match team in the world. Alex Hale's Test match record ain't the worst. Do you know what I mean? He's not the worst. Reece Topley's somebody who would do wonders bowling in England in those decks. Left armour who swings it at a decent pace. I mean, no thanks. But end of the day, he's had injury problems. Reece Topley's had injury problems. He's probably thinking Timur Mills has had injury problems, and he is now a T20 specialist and making dough. Why can't I do it? He's one of the most economical bowlers in T20 cricket. Why not?
Okay, I mean, I don't want to have the whole negative side of it. There's major pros of this as well,
and that's a pro. That is a pro. Is the finances.
And I think you touched on it as well about transfers, because the county cricket has when we were growing up, you'd never seen those massive, huge transfers. When someone was there, you knew he was there. If someone said, in football, sometimes it's even hard to keep up with the transfers, right? Yeah. With county cricket, it wasn't that. You knew this person played for this county, he was very good for this county. And you said now that this sort of new trend for the white ball contracts is actually a good thing.
I think there are pros to it, and one of the pros is the exposure that players will get. So the thing that is very clear not clear, but the one thing that's got to be made very clear, evident, is that although that there's these players like the Rashids and the Hales and the Topleys who are going to white ball cricket, there are people who can't play white ball cricket, who aren't very good at white ball cricket, right? Who are very, very good red ball cricket players, right? Now, that would allow somebody to make the move and be like, you know what, I've seen an opportunity there, I'm going to go for it. So let's just say, for argument's sake, now Sam Northeast has just gone to Hampshire from Kent. He's been Kent through and through, and his record is very, very good. Done very, very good things at Kent. But if you're looking at the two counties, Hampshire and Kent, you're probably thinking Hampshire's probably going to get me more exposure. They're probably a bit more, and this is a matter of opinion. I'm sure people that play for Kent or are affiliated to Kent will disagree with me. Yeah. But Hampshire, the Rose Bowl, the Ageas Bowl it's called now, they're starting to get Test match status. The one days are played there. There's a lot more sponsorship around Hampshire. It's a lot more of a trendier county at the moment to play cricket for. Sorry, Kent. I'm just saying what as it is. Sam Northeast has seen an opportunity there, right, to say, right, okay, hold on a minute. There's a chance for me to go to Hampshire with Vince. Vince is probably going to be affiliated with England. Riley Rousseau is a player that's on white ball contracts, but I think he's a Kolpak player. But he's affiliated in a lot of T20 tournaments. There's probably going to be players within the Hampshire side who are going to be in and out. Liam Dawson, he has white ball affiliations as well. Sam Northeast is probably thinking my opportunity is there now to go to a county that's got a lot more exposure and probably a lot more glamorous to focus on getting into the Test match side, because red ball cricket is where I want to be at. That opportunity for him is great. It's a fantastic opportunity. Now, there's probably batsmen out there in the county circuit. Someone like, let me think, Chris Dent, or for Gloucester, or Will Tavare, who plays again for Gloucester. Probably not the most glamorous counties in the world. Bristol's a lovely part of the world. I went to university there, and I know a couple of people that play, in that side. But Gloucester have been struggling for the last couple of years. But those guys have done quite well. If someone like Chris Dent, who had aspirations to play Test match cricket for England, has seen the opportunity to go to Notts because Alex Hales isn't playing there anymore, you'd think, I'll tell you what, that's an opportunity for me. If Alex Hales isn't playing red ball cricket, I can go there and I can make a stamp for myself because I want to play red ball cricket. If there's players that don't want to play, the opportunity, so every door that closes for somebody else, another one opens. So I think it's a very, very good opportunity. Look at it to Surrey. It's a follower of the channel, Amar Singh Vedi. The guy has been involved with the England Lions, young guy, puts good revs on the ball, decent, very, very good off spinner, promising career. People like Adil Rashid aren't going to, a spinner who's not going to play red ball cricket. Someone like Amar Vedi is thinking, hold on a minute, there's an opportunity here, isn't there? There's an opportunity here for me, for someone who's got aspirations of playing red ball cricket, as becoming a frontline spinner. Jack Leach, there's a lot of players that are going to look at it and think, the opportunity is there now. So
you mentioned about doors opening, and obviously the big thing about is youngsters. So for this trend, I mean, how does it affect the youngsters? Is it now they get a real good look at it, or you mentioned about the big transfers, but now obviously if there's gaps there, so what does it mean for the youngsters?
Absolutely, and that's the positive side of it. Now, no disrespect to Rashid, Hales and those guys, no disrespect whatsoever, they've achieved amazing things in their career. But if you're not going to play Test match cricket, sometimes you'll get contracts at the counties because you're like, well, you know what, he's going to play red ball cricket for us when he's available. But if you're not going to go on have aspirations to play those games, it's easy to say, right, well, if you're not available for red ball cricket for the Test match team, then you're probably the whole point of the county circuit is to bring players forward to play for England and not just for your county. So I think the knock-on effect of this would be people like that will move aside. Now, the young lads who have played in the Under-19s World Cup, for example, were very, very undercooked. Let's make no bones about it. The team that won it had players that had a lot of international experience and played not Test cricket, but had played one days for their states. They'd got hundreds in first-class cricket. Now, next time, I'd like to think with this trend happening, and there will be more players who do go to that, would allow these younger players, within homegrown players, to get that first-class experience, to have played in the one-day comps for the counties. So when they go to the Under-19s World Cup, it's going to be like, right, okay, these players have all had experience of playing in front of 20, 30,000 people in England in an ODI, in a Royal London Cup. Or they've played first-class cricket in the Champo, they've faced some decent bowlers, they know what to face now, and they won't be undercooked, and they will be able to compete. So again, every door that closes is another opportunity. So I think it's easier it's probably a nice little thing for the England selectors. But I'm thinking, I'll tell you what, a lot of these guys who are making themselves unavailable were people who weren't going to pick for the Test matches. And instead of us saying to the counties, look, don't pick them, because you can't tell a county who to pick and not pick, those guys are making themselves unavailable, which means automatically it means a birth of players who are younger players. And again, the people like Amar Vedi, people like Chris Dent, and people like, there's a couple of lads at Somerset. These guys are now, there's just best at Somerset, they're going to get extended runs in the side because they've got aspirations of playing five-day stuff for their countries and stuff like that. So, as I said, a big opportunity, which would mean that it would make the younger players a little bit more accountable. And England hopefully should benefit. So the ones that want to play Test cricket are getting a lot more exposure, which in turn means the younger players are at a higher level.
From what you said there, I'm already sensing some big negatives that we can see with that. You're mentioning the opportunity for youngsters to get that opportunity, which is fantastic. And I think as a young cricketer, when you see those gaps forming, it gives you that extra drive to want to push yourself even further because you know it's realistic for you to get there. When you was playing, sometimes like you said, it seems so unrealistic to get up those ranks and get through the system to get where you want to be. So that's a major, major plus. But then, if people are moving away from red ball cricket and red ball cricket, I don't see it going away immediately. So does that mean that our team moving forward is going to be best at average? And we don't want that, because we love the Ashes, right? We love England versus India. These test matches, they always fill out. So we can't say it's going to go. Money talks, right? And we always look forward to that. I don't see it disappearing. So does that mean now our team moving forward in a test match is going to be average at best?
I don't think it will, because I don't forget, Joe Root, Bairstow, Stokes, Wokes, Moeen Ali. These guys are obviously still going to all play. It's when someone like Ben Stokes, for example, if Ben Stokes turned around and went, right, I'm not interested in red ball cricket. I was one of the highest paid players in the IPL. If I go to the Big Bash, I'll make more money. If I go to the South African one, the PSL.
Can you see that happening, do you think?
Well, unfortunately, annoyingly, Josh Butler's probably one that I look at and think, do you know what? I won't be surprised if he done it. Because Bairstow's a good keeper and he's a good player.
Yeah.
So if you're Josh Butler, you're thinking, well, why am I going to go and play a 4-day game away in Scarborough, right? Do you know what I mean? Or I could be in the
Great
West.
place, mate.
A lovely place. Try it. It's great. Or Trinidad in a T20 when the flipping drums are going off. Yeah, do you know what I mean? What would you want to do? What would you want to do? If I was that, I'd put it out to you guys. What would you want to do? But I think what I'm saying is, I think there's two ways of looking at it. One way to look at it is the cons will be that you're getting average players playing against average players. Because you think,
true, yeah,
Adil Rashid bowling a young guy who's really excelling in his age groups, and if Adil Rashid is twisting him up, can't pick the wrong one, bowling leggies, can't get him away, you're thinking, right, well, that's the whole point. These guys who have played Test cricket know what it's like to play at the top level. So it might not be so exciting for Adil Rashid because this is a young lad I'm bowling at, and I'm going to twist him up. I've got no interest in it, but that young lad would have learned so much from it, and that would propel him. But if these guys aren't playing anymore, and you've got young players playing against young players, Virat Kohli, and Stephen Smith, and Mitchell Starc will eat these guys up. That's one way of looking at it. But the other way to look at it is Shubman Gill was a player of the tournament for India in under 19s.
Had a great tournament.
Right, he had a great tournament. How did he get to that level? Because he played aggressive cricket at the first class level. Now, I know you're not going to get Ben Stokes and Chris Woakes every single week, but there's going to be games where they're going to play it. They're going to play. There's going to be players who are on the fringes of playing for the Test match side. So there's a lot of quality in the county circuit, but I just think this is a pretty much. I look at it as a bit of a positive to say this might sieve out some dead wood. And you might get some ex-Test players who've got love for the game, and they know that they're not going to play white ball cricket around the world, so they're going to focus more on the 5-day stuff. They're going to be like, well, hold on a minute, I'm going to concentrate on the 5-day stuff, and they will add a wealth of experience. So it's you're on a seesaw at the moment. You're there, and the spectrum, it could go one way or the other. I like to remain positive and think this is a really good opportunity that's going to allow the young players to kick on and know how to build innings in a 5-day game and stuff like that. So I look at it as a pro in that sense, but the con is that you are losing great experience from the Test level that should be coming and flooding the first class circuit, and sitting in the changing room with. I remember as a young lad, Stephen Cook, who played Test cricket for South Africa, sitting in the changing room with him, talking to him about how he approaches certain scenarios. Priceless, absolutely priceless. You could sit there for hours, and obviously he went out and got millions of runs, but just how he approached games and how that sort of know-how is really important. So I really hope that we don't lose that, because these young guys, as talented as they may be, you do learn a lot from hearing and watching and listening, and not just going out and facing balls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that you're optimistic. I mean, I think from the younger generation, not just cricket, in a lot of different ways in life and the way they think. I think the mentality is very, very different from when we were growing up. And it's almost, I'm not digging out the youngsters, but they almost want it easy. And I just think when you see the money coming in, and I just see it dying out, unfortunately. But like you said, I think the game will still continue, but I think I just think it'll be a low quality.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you see a lot of power hitting come into it and stuff like that, and all these coaches want to promote how to hit sixes and stuff, and that's what puts bums on seats. Let's make no bones about it.
Exactly. That's what we're here. That's what
we're here for. But at the end of the day, there is that longer format of the game as well. So.
One topic that never goes away when we talk about English cricket in particular is cold pack players. How does the white ball contracts affect, or how does it affect with these guys? Is it positive? Is it negative?
Yeah, it's positive for Kolpak players.
Yeah.
If you're a Safa and you're out in South Africa, you're thinking, this isn't working out for me. There's a bit of dough to be had in the UK. With these players going for white ball contracts, these Kolpak players are going to see such a big opportunity to maximise and make some money. Now, again, going back to my personal experience, there's a guy who came over as a South African guy, Seema, took shed loads of wickets, and he'd just been dropped from his franchise because of the situation they have with you have to have a certain amount of players of black players playing in the franchises out there against a certain amount of white players, and it's difficult in South Africa. It is. He was replaced. Fantastic bowler. He would get into a lot of the county sides here. Let's make no bones about it. He was toying with the idea of playing here. He's actually gone abroad now into Asia because there was money to be made there and coaching and playing and stuff. But they're looking at this. So Sam Northeast has gone to Kent. Gone from Kent to Hampshire. Kent has gone and signed a guy called Heino Kuhn, who's played Test cricket for South Africa. He played against England in the last series. He didn't have a great series, but he averages 50 in first-class cricket. So he's obviously a good player. Now look at the state of South Africa cricket. They're doing really well in this Test match Test series at the moment. They're competing and stuff. But their second string, when we watched their series against India when they had a few injuries, they were poor. They were piss poor. Now that is because a lot of the players are seeing the opportunity to come to England and play. Now the cons are, we talk about all the young players and the guys in the age group cricket in the twos and a couple of players that I mentioned earlier getting the opportunity. But if we're being honest, counties still want to make money. They still want to put bums on seats for the 5-day cricket or 4-day cricket. If there's an opportunity to sign a ex-Test batsman, you're going to get quality, no doubt. You're going to get a player that's consistent, who's scored runs, but the people that suffer are going to be young players again. So it's a fine line. I think it's the opportunity of this white ball cricket for the players and to go and earn that money is great, but in return, we as a county, as a first class circuit, we've got to put a foot down, and the ECB have got to say, right, there's got to be some sort of cap or limitation. I'm not saying as a to turn the Kolpaks away, because they do enhance the game. They do, they will make our Test match players better, because the young players are going to face some guys who have played Test cricket. Riley Rousseau, he's a great prime example. He probably left South Africa too early, but he's a top batter. He's really hard to bowl at. Heino Kuhn is a technically very, very good player, wicketkeeper. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, it's good that these bowlers are going to learn to bowl at these good players and that they will improve them, but there's going to be a batsman missing out. So that for every positive, there's a negative. So for me, the cons to the whole white ball contract situation is that there's a chance that the first class circuit might get flooded with second-rate South African players, Zimbabwean players, who they're not terrible. Obviously, they're not at all. But it's just what do we want to our Test match team? How are we going to kick on if we've got no opportunities for the youngsters that we're trying to bring through? So that's where I see a slight negative for that as well. So on that front, I think that's all the points that I think. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think about this, the situation with the white ball contracts. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What would you do? Do you think our analysis is harsh? Do you think it's fair? Really interested, because I think there will be a lot more of this. So please, like, share, and leave your comments. Really interested to hear what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace.